Hi, Bob.
Hello. There you are.
Howdy.
So it looks like we might have a quorum because Steve, Bill, and Frank said they could make it. So
Cool.
um,
You said they could make it, right?
they all said that they all responded.
Cool.
So that's, I'm hopeful that they'll actually remember. But I don't know what the committee, we're going to talk about it tonight, but the committee needs some new blood, and I'm going to maybe, well, we'll discuss it. The committee will discuss it, but I think the people that never show up might want to resign, or at least temporarily resign or something, you know, so that we don't have to count them as against the quorum. Don't you think that's a good idea?
I'm gonna check and see if anybody really has. I have to look at the list.
Well,
I
Nancy,
wasn't sure if Nancy had resigned or not.
I don't think, if they haven't, if they've resigned, then I don't have to count them, but if they haven't resigned, I'm gonna ask them what the story is so that I can find out, like say with Jim Aaron, you know,
Yeah.
he can't participate with Zoom, so he should just resign, or at least he could always be reappointed later if he wanted to be.
Yep.
And now Nancy hasn't been to a meeting in about 1.5 years, so I don't know. I think maybe I would ask her what's going on and tell her that she should resign if she's not going to come anymore.
Yeah, I think she was at one. She was at one of them, but that was it. It wasn't. It was like a year ago.
Oh, it's just an issue that if you have to count somebody and they're not going to come, you might as well figure out whether or not they plan on ever coming again.
Yeah.
Because it's, you know, last time we could have met if we didn't have all the members that we have, you know.
There's Frank.
Hey, Frank, how you doing? Did I send you the minutes, Becky?
No, I don't think
Send them
so.
to you right now. Send them to everybody else. Minutes, the last meeting we had was, let's see here. Is that the right one? I think I might have sent you the
Oh,
wrong.
you sent me.
I think I sent you the wrong thing though. I thought
Okay.
you sent you the link to this meeting, so.
Thank you.
Let's see. What's happening, Frank? Can't hear you. You're muted.
There.
Okay.
Excellent.
I went sailing for a week in Maine. It was lovely.
Really nice. Whereabouts did you go out of?
I have a friend has a house in a boat in Portland, and we went all the way up Harpswell, all these little inlets.
Nice.
Last year we went all the way to Rockland, but
Yeah.
the winds
Nice.
winds were good some days and not good others. So
That's sailing. Sailing needs too much wind or not enough. There's a lot of times I found.
right. In fact, one of the days we motored for 2 hours, then put the sail up because the winds were so strong. And the waves, Hurricane Larry went by, so that was kind of nice. Huge rolling waves.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fun when you're in a reach or something like that. If
Yeah.
there's wind, it's fun to be in the rollers, but there's no wind, it can make you really sick if you're just flopping around.
I've been lucky with that.
I was up in Maine for a week up in Southport Harbor. You know where that is, near Bluefield Harbor? Right up in the same neck of the woods.
Yep.
Yeah. Nice up there.
Next year, we're going to try to go farther.
Maine's a great place. A lot of rocks up there, man.
An awful lot of rocks that we The Sandy, the owner of the boat's a good captain. He has all the devices and he's very, even at high tide, he's very cautious. So it's amazing.
It's good. It's not, that's a very hard bottom to hit.
Yes. And some of them aren't that visible.
Somebody who can't get on your thing.
Okay, Bill? Let's see. Hello? Hey, Bill. What's up? It's on Zoom. So if you go to town, Shutesbury.com or Shutesbury.org and go to meetings, the calendar, then you'll see a link. Right. Six o'clock. Yeah, we're just here waiting for you to get hooked up. It's okay. Yeah, you go to the town website, go to calendars, and then you'll see the calendar. You'll see the town building committee. Click on that. There'll be a link.
Would it be easier if you email it to him, Bob? I could just forward the email you sent to me.
Okay.
Word.
Do you see the link there now? Great. There's Steve.
Hi.
Hi, Steve.
Hey, Steve.
All right, so I'll see you on TV. Okay. Yeah, they're coming in now, right? There he is.
Excellent.
Okay. Hey, Bill. Hey,
Hey,
Steve.
Bill.
Steve and Bill, you're both muted, so for your information. If you go to the bottom left of your screen, you should be able to unmute yourself, Bill. You see it?
You have to move your cursor to the bottom of the screen. That'll light up a bar that'll show a mute symbol in the left corner. You'd think the host could unmute people if they could mute people,
Yeah.
but you can't. It just asks them.
Very negative.
Oh,
Okay,
he did it.
There we go.
we were in the wrong place, so.
Okay, good. Welcome. So Steve, we have a quorum, so I'm gonna just start the meeting with, I sent the minutes to everyone, including you, Becky,
Mhm.
from the last meeting, which was way back in 5/13. Just before town meeting, I think.
Yep.
No, yeah, and it was, you've all looked at them? Is there any
Yep.
questions or comments on them or mistakes or anything?
No, I think everything looked okay to me.
Looked okay to me too.
Me too.
Okay,
Okay.
Steve.
So can we make a motion that we approve the minutes as written? Anybody else have any comments?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, second,
Second,
all in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Aye. Good, done. So the next meeting we tried to have was in June, and that didn't work out, and haven't been able to get a quorum, so glad we all got a quorum here. We can try to reboot the committee. On the agenda, we have, I was just gonna mention that I did order the sliders for the elementary school. So that is in process. I did talk to Randy down at the window shop on Hadley. And he says he will install them. He hasn't given me a price yet, but he's gonna call me in October and come and look at it and give us a price. I've also heard from Ron Natic and also the name slips my mind now, but the carpenter Rick Light, and they both said they'd be willing to do it. So I think betwixt the three, we'll get some proposals and we can hire somebody to do that this fall. I think that the window was supposed to arrive before November 1st. So that's one thing. I wanted to, on the Old Town Hall issue, which is the ongoing issue there, I did have 3 people look at the excavation, and so far the Theroux brothers is the only one that really is game and interested in doing it. That's the guy with the vacuum truck. I had Grassroots Landscaping, and one of the principals in that is named Isaiah, I think Roberts or something like that, Robbins. He really wanted to do it. He thought it was a really cool, interesting job, but his partner came up to look at it with him and said, "This is awful. I don't want to have anything to do with this." So that was the last I heard of from them. So then the third person is this guy that lives across from the AC, and he has a little Kubota tractor, and he said he was interested, but he hasn't gotten back to me either. So I think I did talk to Theroux just recently, last week, and now he says, like everybody else, he's booked. So I think what we're going to have to do is make a decision, I think maybe to hire him and try to schedule him for, I'm sure that because it's going to get cold, he's going to be doing less excavation when it gets frosty. It's not going to get frosty underneath town hall, so that might be working our favor in this case, okay?
He had a fairly reasonable price, didn't he?
Well, his price was open-ended, but he said he would just give us a price per day for 3 men and a hammer and this vacuum machine. So, we're going to hire him. I think that his price per day is reasonable enough so we could hire him for 3 days. But then we still needed to have someone to do the structural work after he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
But so we have to line that up before this. I want to have someone come right in behind him. I don't want to leave it on temporary props. I mean, it's propped up now in a way that is stable. And if he does this excavation and puts in temporary props, which he's agreed to do as part of the excavation, I would like to have someone come right in and put in the engineered location for permanent supports, And I don't think that Theroux is going to do that. Maybe he can hire someone to do that. I'll have to ask him about that. Carpenter would be likely the person that would do that.
Yeah.
One guy could do it, or 2 guys could do it. It's kind of there's going to be excavated, so it won't be as bad as it might be, but it's still not going to be ideal work. But again,
Would any of the carpenters that are willing to put the sliding glass door in possibly be?
well,
maybe
the
hire
window
them?
shop won't, they just do windows. So Rick Light and Ron Natek, I can ask them. Yeah, we'll ask them. That's a good idea. So I'll take a note of that.
I would think Ron Natick would. He was originally from Granby.
Well, that means he's willing to work.
Yeah,
Well, the young guys definitely don't like getting dirty.
no.
So it's been a kind of a problem for me to try to get anybody to do anything. I don't know. I think maybe it's computers or internet or something. can't really quite figure it out.
The storm just came to Lake Wyola.
Really? Hasn't arrived here on top of the hill yet.
Hmm.
It's beginning
Big
dark
rain
in the
drop.
west, though.
Yeah, it just showed up here too, at the top of the hill.
Oh, so it's moving out.
I don't have rain yet.
You at town hall or are you at home?
I'm at town hall.
There's nothing here either.
Here it comes.
I gotta take notes here, so I gotta write this down.
Oh, Bill, well, Bob's doing that. You called the highway department one day about highway bounds, right? Or were asking about them?
Yeah, I
I'll
was
be right
wondering what,
back, guys. I have to go talk to somebody. One sec. I'll be right back.
Because I saw one just on your side of Mike Vinsky's house. There's one up on that in that bank. It's just a little concrete block, but that's
yeah, I was just wondering what the width of the right of way was for the town road.
if you look at his, it's probably pretty close to where it is by your house too.
Okay. Yeah, because I went down and looked at that and I wasn't sure if that was the highway marker or not.
Yeah, that is the highway bound. And then for some strange reason, there's 5 or 6 of them in a row on Pelham Hill somewhere too.
Highway boundaries? You
Yeah,
mean monuments?
yeah, the markers.
Yeah. Yeah, like, there's none down my way. There's stakes. But there's no monuments that were permanently placed by the town or by the, the highway department. Pelham has them. Like those concrete posts.
Yep.
Yeah. But there should be on the town map for your property, there should be a kind of a description, a map that shows the distance from the right of way, the width of the right of way. Like it's 60 feet here, I think, on Pelham Hill Road. Right, Steve?
I thought the widest was 50, but I guess every road's different.
I think depending on the year that the road was engineered, the state had different standards. And when they did my road, they really made it so that the C5As could land here, I think, Damn wide, And the unintended consequence of that is people go fast.
Yeah.
At least West Pelham Road is still kind of curvy and, maybe it's narrower too.
Yeah, but there's a nice hill. They like to go down fast and then they can't make the curve at the bottom.
Yeah. Well, the biggest one for that is Prescott Road, right? That's a pretty big curve at the bottom of that one.
Yep.
Remember when Scott Construction was in town and I worked for them sometimes. They lost their brakes going down that hill with the truck full of forms.
Yeah.
And the guy took a left with his white knuckle left, but the forms went into the woods. Better than the truck rolling over. Though.
Yep.
All right, so you're back, Becky. Good. The next thing I was going to bring up on the agenda was what the role of the BC is, and this Becky probably has something to say about this, but my impression or my understanding was that we should be more involved in some big projects. I know we've had difficulty getting together our crew, but I think that there's some stuff going on that is important that we could assist the town with, like this HVAC issue. I don't know where that's at right now, Becky. But it's a very important thing for the town to be on top of because of the money that's now available through the government. And the school could really stand to very inexpensively, hopefully, improve the environment and the systems that, we know that last year they had some issues down there, but with COVID and the pandemic, I think, and the federal money that's out there, we're hoping, maybe we could help run that down so that we don't lose out. So I don't know, where's that stand now, Becky?
This, I'm waiting on the third quote from the engineer, and then that'll get awarded and the engineering work will get done. And the next step would be the contractor.
So
Being solicited.
the engineer that we sort of handed to you, we couldn't just go out and hire him?
He's in the running. You have to have a minimum of 3.
Even for engineering?
Yeah.
But must be a deadline at some point for people to submit their bids, I mean, right?
Yeah. And it's, I should have it by Monday or Tuesday.
Okay, good, because it'd be great to get that. I don't know what the scheduling could be, but it's certainly gonna take some time to organize everything.
Yeah.
Engineering is the first step, so. Yeah, and the thing is, we're gonna ask him to engineer a separate price on a whole building and ventilation system, right? We had the original deal, which he
Yeah,
did scope out.
The bid you got did not have the full ventilation.
Right. He said that when we got down to business, if we did, he would give us, I asked him if he would give us a separate price for a whole building ventilation system. He said, yes, he would, which would
Okay,
be,
because we have no funding for that right now.
right, but don't you think we can get funding for that?
Um,
That's what my thought was.
Yeah.
Because it's such a way to improve hygiene in the interior of the building,
and there's different ways that it can be approached, and there's limitations by the current structure and system in the building. So yeah, you really need the engineers to figure out how to do it.
But I had a brief discussion with him about that, and there's no doubt, as far as the initial impression was that we would have to put in an additional,
I have to take this,
okay. I'll just tell the committee, the town would have to put up a new foundation for this ventilation system, probably adjacent to the existing physical plant that's there now for the heating system. Outside the building, there'd have to be a place to put new equipment. Because it's gonna be some fans, there's gonna be some controls, there's gonna be, can't just tag it onto the existing system. It'd be a kind of a separate but integrated system to change the air X number of times per day and preheat the incoming fresh air with the exhaust air, and probably filter it to a HEPA level or something, whatever level is now considered to be safe for, so the kids are never going to get flu anymore, so there'll never be any more sick days either, so. Right, Steve?
Yes.
Anyway, that's good. I'm glad that's going forward. New members, does anybody have somebody who might contribute to us that they can think of that we could ask? I've asked Mike Vinsky and he said he would join if he was allowed to. He obviously goes to Florida, but he said he'd participate from Florida, which in this condition is no different than participating from Shutesbury, as far as I can tell.
Right.
I don't know, but I think it would be nice to have some more members on board to share the load and to contribute. So I welcome you guys providing, nominating or asking around for people that you think might be, useful or have something to offer,
How many members you looking for, Bob?
Well, I think it would be better. I think that, again, I was talking to Becky about this earlier, but there's a couple of members, Jim, Aaron, and Nancy, that haven't been coming to the meetings for a while. So I'm going to find out if they're actually members now, or if they're not planning on participating. And if they're not, it'd be nice to replace them or have somebody that would be able to show up on a regular basis, or, something like that. So
You need a couple more anyway.
I think it would be nice. Yeah. What do you think the number should be, Becky?
I think they advised trying to get an odd number.
I think,
So 5 or 7.
yeah, and five I mean, 5 seems okay, but everybody has problems showing up. We've had a hard time getting it together, so I'm just concerned that in the future, we do better, you know, and I also don't like being the secretary and the chairman. I'd like to see someone share that secretary load, and do that part of it for me, because it's hard to run a meeting and take notes at the same time. So I was hoping that somebody would volunteer tonight to be the secretary.
I'm not much of a secretary.
Well, you're not, what are you talking, you're talking about the secretaries on Johnny Carson or something, or? No, I mean, secretary is a person who could take notes, and I think if you're running the meeting, it's kind of difficult to do that.
I'll try it. But
Next time you'll try it, Frank?
yeah, next time I'll try it. Yes.
That'd be great.
I'm not
Okay,
very good at a computer either.
Is there a way we also can record the Zoom meeting so I can look at it later and make a nice?
It's recorded right now.
Okay, okay, yeah. So,
Yeah, you can do that.
oh, good, because that will help. I write everything down as we go and then go
I
back
don't
and do
know
the
how,
name spelling, the spelling of the names correctly and all that.
Yeah, that's something that's one of the good parts of, one of the few good parts of this COVID thing is we have recorded meetings now. I don't know how that's gonna change in the future, assuming that someday COVID is over. But it'd be nice if they continue to have recorded meetings, and nice if they continue to have meetings accessible to the public online. I think that's likely to happen, don't you, Becky?
We're practicing a hybrid meeting, and it's hard. It's hard to do all those things with the limited technology. So we're trying to figure out what technology we need to make all that happen. But it's working. It's kind of, we have problems with sound and everything else, because the trick is to have some people in a room that can see everybody that's on the screen. If you have half the meeting members on the screen, so that
Yep.
they can all talk to each other and hear each other without things like vibrating off of each other. We keep getting these technical glitches, but we're getting better.
You mean feedback?
Feedback, yeah.
Be back, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's we're using a smart TV right now and plugging in a separate microphone, and it's starting to work. But it's so we're
Yeah,
working on it, Rob. It's just a little tricky.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
learning about a lot of stuff, but that's one thing that would be kind of nice. But I can see that it's technically challenged right now.
Yeah, because right now you have to make it, accessible to the public, which means if you have an in-person meeting in town hall, I can't, if 15 people showed up, they couldn't stay because the Board of Health will only let me have like 12 in that room. So, and distanced appropriately. And then how do you get all those distanced appropriately people on this big screen at the same time? It just, once we're over the pandemic and people wouldn't, if we could have more people in a room reasonably, it'll be easier to do, to maintain the remote access to all the meetings with the people participating in person. But
Well, with the 6 feet of separation, it must be easier to avoid feedback.
well, to get everybody on the screen, we had to make it 3 feet apart.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's, I'm sure that we're not the only ones dealing with this issue. There's a lot of other communities and companies that have the same basic problem. So maybe Zoom will come up with a solution.
a lot of them have cable TV access, so they don't have to deal with the public access piece. And, so small towns, it's a little tricky, and most small towns are not using remote access.
They're not.
They're not. If they're doing it, it's by telephone only, or
Really?
Yeah.
They're not doing it by Zoom.
a lot of small towns are not using Zoom.
Oh, I'm surprised. I'm interested.
We're lucky Shutesbury spends so much money on fiber optics, so.
Yeah, our timing was very fortunate. And other
Yes.
towns don't, there's still half of those Wired West towns don't have internet service yet.
I know that, say various friends have to have their during the height of the pandemic, had to drive to libraries to do school Zooming.
Yeah.
So everyone would meet in their own separate car, get
Yep.
their internet off the library.
There were kids around the library for the last year and a half.
Yep.
But they're back in school now, right, Steve?
Oh, yes.
Rain just arrived here.
They are.
It stopped here.
Yeah, stopped here too.
Okay. Let's see. Well, is there anything else to discuss?
Not that I know of.
I
Steve?
know.
How's the roof doing on the school, Steve?
I haven't heard anything, but I do know that the drain's in place and ready to go for or winter break or whatever it is, when they're gonna be out there in the freezing cold.
So the drains have been put in?
Yep.
Who did that? Tom?
I'm sorry?
Who did that?
Oh, we hired, who was the contractor again? Or could I forget? Don't have, I can't remember their name. Oh, it was, okay, we had Habib Architects and the contractor is out of Westport and it's roofing.
So that's the excavating contractor is the same as that was hired by the roofing contractor? Or-
Yeah,
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So it's a subcontract.
it's a subcontractor. They did all, they ran all the drains along the ceiling
Mhm.
that will connect to the roof drains once they can. And then they ran them to the far corner near the stage. They dropped down in the inside of that stairwell and down and out and connect to the drain outside,
The storm drain.
the storm drain about 3 feet deep.
Excellent.
And they insulated it.
It's gonna make a big difference in making the building healthier too, to get that water away from it.
I was laughing when I stumbled across that one day because that single downspout was attached to a 10-inch pipe. So it was just funny to see all that water was supposed to go down that one downspout. But once it got down there, it was going to be able to get out. But it was
That's
just
great that we have capacity like that. So all this new drain will have a pipe that can handle the flow, right?
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah, it should. And it should all be internal and so that, you'll have the external drains as well, but only when you really need them in a real downpour.
That's really good. That's such a big part of what was wrong with the old roof.
Yeah.
And this year we've had an awful lot of downpours and rain, so.
I think that New Orleans got 12 inches of rain yesterday, so.
Oh my God.
And they have a pump system and a levee system, but downriver, Plaquemines down in the other towns below them, they got nothing. So it's just like, forget it,
Yeah.
We're lucky up here.
We are.
But the town did apply again for the MSBA loan
Yeah.
to see if they will do the rest of the roof, not, outside the gym roof. We still haven't heard back.
So you put the application in earlier this time, is that now they changed the protocol or something?
No, they were incredibly late. The application didn't come out till May.
Oh, so so they're just very late, yeah.
They were like.
It was the first of the year before.
Yeah. They set their own time schedule.
Yep,
and they set their own goalposts too.
Yeah. Probably going to be 28 years this year.
well, you want to have a meeting in a couple weeks, 3 weeks? Or should I just think about what agenda and contact everybody? Or do you want to set up a date now?
We can wait and see what comes up.
What about, yeah, so I'll do that. I'll think about it and contact everybody and poll the group.
Yep.
Make sense?
I'm more readily available, so I'm available, whenever it happens,
You like Wednesdays?
whatever day works.
Because now the finance committee is going to Wednesdays, but so we'll look at the schedule, see what's on the town calendar and see where we could fit in.
And Bob, if you could add me to that email when you're polling people,
Sure.
just so I have an idea of what you're looking at,
Okay,
because
Okay.
things get crazy.
Awesome.
excellent. Well, I guess I'm gonna make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
A
Second,
second.
All in favor?
All right.
Okay, great.
Okay. Thank you, Bob.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Take
Bye.
care.
Bye.